Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola. Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Hear ye, hear ye. I bringeth thee a message from... a message from the king and his new trumpeter, Stephen. The king wishes me to convey his favour to thine team and thine tailgate. Not yet. He invites thee to let the Bud Light flow forth. And he also wishes me to tell thee that he toasts thee. Waiteth until the end, Stephen! With game day's favourite light lager and the slogan of his kingdom... Oh! Dilly dilly! Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Florida. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Florida High School Athletic Association and the Florida Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Hey, this is Chad Brillante from the Afternoon Sports Drive, and you're listening to Talk Football with Coach K on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back to Talk Football with Coach K. JP here with you alongside former NFL head coach Kay Stevenson on this Monday afternoon. Hope everybody's doing well, staying safe. In our local area, things are starting to open back up. Of course, restaurants at 50% capacity. Good news, just continue to do what got us to that point. Everybody just stay safe in this time. We will get back to normal, but right now we're talking some football with you, and we have a special guest joining the show. Coach, I know he's a special friend of yours. Listen, John Fox, of course, was the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, Denver Broncos, and Chicago Bears. Panthers, he led them to an NFC championship, and the Broncos to an AFC championship. You see him on NFL Live. Going to be really interesting to hear what he's got to say. But, Coach, I'm going to go ahead and let you take the reins on this one.
All right. Well, Coach Fox, we certainly appreciate you taking the time to be with us, and it means a lot to us. Thank you.
Well, it's always a pleasure, Ken. I hope everybody's healthy and safe, and I'm in Florida myself, so we are starting to open up a little bit. I think if we just continue to take good care of ourselves, I think we'll start making some headway.
I agree with you totally. And for those of you who are, and most of you are very familiar with John Fox, not only from his very successful years as a coach. You don't win 2 division championships. You don't win 1 too often, much less 2. And plus the fact that John can say without any question that you're one of the very respected guys out there in the industry that other people look to. And with that in mind, I wanted to ask you, there are about a number of different options that the National Football League has. I'm sure, I've talked to a couple of people, Bill Polin and others, that are aware of some of the options that they've discussed. including September, October, November, opening no fans in the stands to start with, blah, 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 on and on. And we've all heard most of those. But the latest one is not too far-fetched, really, if they don't allow them to play in California or Washington or wherever. The National Football League could literally move most of the teams into Florida. And with the facilities, 2 stadiums in Tampa, 2 in Orlando, Jacksonville, Gainesville, Tallahassee, and then New Orleans is open, Houston, Dallas, Atlanta, and Charlotte. You could put them all in this area. But anyway, what are your thoughts on National Football League opening up and playing?
Well, I think, all those are decent options. And look, we just had an XFL fold that found different venues to play in. So especially if you're talking about not with fans, there'd be plenty of places and states that, would allow the NFL to start their season. There would be lots of options. The biggest thing for me, Kay, is, you saw what's going on with basketball. You saw what's going on with baseball. NASCAR just kind of, got to go play or to run their sport. But those are all unique deals. You saw the Skins game with Logan and then the other day at Seminole. Golf's another unique one. The thing about football that makes it so hard, and I think the number one big step is going to get all these guys, individual teams, 32 different teams, wherever it is. You're talking 170 people a day in very close-knit quarters. When you start involving the trainers, the equipment men, the IT people, the film people, plus the players, plus the coaches, and they're in a facility that they eat all day together. They have the same shower room, they have the same locker room, they eat in the same cafeteria. That, to me, is going to be the biggest challenge is, first of all, getting these guys trained, getting them in shape, and getting them ready for a football game, let alone just playing the football game. So I think that's a big challenge that the NFL is faced with right now, is getting the facilities open. They open them up tomorrow, I believe, for anybody that's not a coach in obviously states and cities that will allow it. So I think, we're still just kind of sniffing the surface really and kind of operating a football team, let alone playing a game yet. So I think it's the biggest challenge the league has right now.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. But I do think the NFL will play a bit easier for the NFL than it will be for colleges. Colleges face quite a few more impediments, as you might imagine.
Well, I agree totally with that.
Yeah. But I think they're probably, I think this has brought about the 5 major conferences breaking away from the NCAA. I think that's one thing that it's brought about. But how they go from here and playing without, I think SEC and the ACC and probably Big 10, Big 12 will probably play. I'm not sure about the Pac-12, but they'll find some way to play, and they could they'll take some lessons from the NFL. But it's going to be a major undertaking because of all the people involved. You're right, and this is not a tag sport. It's a collision sport, and bodies have to meet. But that's a part of the game, and I think it's going to probably happen. But how do you see, or what have you heard about the colleges and how they might be planning to go ahead with this?
Well, I think they probably have a little bit more of a challenge. Again, you even have more scholarship athletes on the football team, at least major college football, than actually you do even on an NFL team. So I think the challenge is great. But I do feel, just having dealt, being in major college football for 10 years, that, basketball and football basically support the athletic department in these colleges. And I think that's pretty universal around the country. So, you already lost March Madness, the NCAA tournament, which basically funds the whole NCAA office. That tournament alone is probably 60% of the budget. So the NCAA is going to have their own set of problems financially. And then, many colleges, in the country rely on the revenue from men's basketball and men's football. And that's not being ugly, it's just real as far as the business of college athletics. So I think somehow, some way, they have to get some kind of season, whether it's abbreviated or not. And I'm sure they're working on that. But I think that challenge is greater in college because there's more athletic departments than there are NFL teams, around the country.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that, especially when you consider, Emmett saying that he's had to back up on it, but saying that you're not going to have fall sports if students are on campus and in classes, and then you have the student attendance at games and overall attendance at games, where attendance means so much in the way of total revenue to colleges. It's much less for the NFL. I think it's about 16% for the NFL based on ticket sales, much, much bigger in college. So you've got a number of obstacles there they're going to have to overcome. NFL depends more on, they can play in a sterile stadium and have television and pipe in noise, crowd noise, and don't show the stands. And you watch it on television, and it's no different than any other week that you watch football. A little different in college with all the bands and the cheerleaders and the traditions and so on that are involved there.
Yeah, I think, my daughter's a sophomore at SMU, actually a rising junior this fall. And, being located in Dallas, in the state of Texas, I think they're being pretty aggressive with what their views are of fall classes. But again, there's still some time there to make those decisions on kind of the slow opening and see how aggressive that'll be. But all these schools, we're talking about athletics, just getting students back to school, regardless of what level. For sure in college. I mean, I know these college tuitions aren't cheap, and when your student is just taking classes online at your house, you wonder where all this tuition money's going. To be truthful, if they're not actually, at the university and in class. So there's no doubt this is going to be interesting to navigate.
No question about it. I want to take you a step in another direction here real quick, John. Based on the draft and postseason activity or preseason activity, I guess at this point, what team, after the draft is over, what team or teams, what 4 or 5 teams do you think have and really improved themselves via the draft and free agency?
I think the team that sticks in my mind kind of right off the top, in that I think they underperformed a year ago, and I think they helped themselves both in free agency and the draft, would be in the NFC East, the Dallas Cowboys. I think the biggest thing was I thought, they were probably the most underachieving team in the league, I felt, a year ago. And like I said, I think they helped themselves considerably, this off season. On the AFC side, I think because they stayed the same, is the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they really helped themselves with the running back they got out of LSU, and basically retained just about everybody they had on offense from a year ago, and they're young, and I think they'll just get better. That defense actually played pretty good down the stretch through the playoffs, and so I think the two teams in the AFC side and then the NFC side are the two I mentioned. I still really like Baltimore and what they did. I think they're well run. I think they're well organized. Obviously, they were good last year. They were disappointed, in their playoff loss, but I think they'll be another strong candidate, and I think their defense will be better. I think the 49ers, again, I think I like their team. They're young, they're talented. I think, they lost Buckner, but then, I think they drafted high again, and John Lynch does a great job, and he understands, you win up front, whether it's on offense or defense, and they continued that. But off the top of my head, Kay, I think those will be the ones that, I'd probably, that's four, two on the AFC and two on the NFC that I feel pretty good about.
Well, those are good ones, John. Listen, I appreciate you coming on. I've taken up quite a bit of your time. We appreciate it, and hopefully have you on again about the time this whole thing starts up again, and hopefully it will start up on time.
Well, I'd love to join you, Kay. I got a lot of respect for you, and appreciate you having me on. You and your family stay safe and healthy, and all the best moving forward.
Well, same to you. Same to you, John. We appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Coach. Bye now.
And that's John Fox joining us right here, Talk Football with Coach K. Always good to hear his voice. Of course, you can hear him on NFL Live. Very well-respected man when it comes to NFL football. Heck of a player, heck of a coach, and everything that he's done. We appreciate him joining us right now. Now, we appreciate him hanging on as we went through some technical difficulties as well. And, look, we're back through this. The weather, made things a little tough, but nonetheless, we got to go to a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about Jim Kelly making some news here for the Buffalo Bills, not making life easy for the Bills who, made the playoffs for the first time in a while, but basically some comments that we'll talk about, and some bold comments as well. He is not holding back. And we'll talk about Bill Barnwell ranking the NFL teams from worst to first after all said and done right now up to this point. All that and more coming back right here on Talk Football with Coach K on ESPN Pensacola.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
There's only one place in town for the lowest prices and greatest selection of firearms. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range. Visit our fully stocked Gun Pro Shop for new and used firearms, accessories, and ammunition. Check out the Indoor Shooting Range. We offer rentals on guns, including fully automatic machine guns and silencers. Ladies, this is the safe place to learn how to use a gun. Plus, Tuesday is Ladies' Day. Women shoot for half price all day. The best place to buy firearms in Pensacola. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range, Highway 29 in Car City.
What'd you do this time, Brad?
I'm in the doghouse after my hunting trip last weekend.
Yeah, I was too. I blew off our date.
How'd you get out of the doghouse?
Stillwater's Day in Medical Spa. I got her a gift card. It took 3 minutes at swmedspa.com. She booked it this Saturday.
Saturday? So 9 holes then?
Tee time's at 8.
To enjoy a hassle-free guys weekend, treat her to a gift card from Stillwater's Day in Medical Spa. Follow Stillwater's on Facebook or Instagram to enter contests and win great prizes. Or visit swmedspa.com.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. Learn more at wearebroadcasters.com/hope. Furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck, Bentley. That was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
The latest sports news is at ESPNpensacola.com and on Facebook at ESPN Pensacola. Plus, watch Chad Brilliante, Coach K, and Sports Call live on our exclusive YouTube channel, ESPN Pensacola 1330.
Coming up on Sports Call this Saturday, will there be Blue Wahoos baseball this season? Also my Netflix review of the week, and I also recap the complete Last Dance series. That's this Saturday from 11 to 1 on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
The teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back to Talk Football with Coach K. JP here with you, alongside former NFL head coach Kay Stevenson on this Monday afternoon. Hope everybody's doing well. Look, we're talking some football with you as always. And, Coach, look, we appreciate John Fox joining us, of course, by the way. And awesome interview. I know tomorrow Tony Barnhart will join us, as well as later on in the week Paul Feinbaum will join us. We have a star-studded week in store, and it's going to be a lot of fun here, Coach.
Yeah, it will. I'm happy that we can provide this type of diversion, really, and hopefully something of interest for our fans.
Absolutely, Coach. And to move on to some news here now, I mentioned this before the break. Jim Kelly, of course, everybody knows who Jim Kelly is. Look, former Bills quarterback. He's had some rants before, and talking to CBS Sports Radio on whether the Bills should win the division. Well, he didn't say the Patriots are still the Patriots or the Bills have to prove it on the field or anything that keeps the target, on the team to a minimum. Instead, he attached the target himself. He said, listen, if they don't win it, then something's wrong. Tom Brady is not there to block you anymore, so that to me is huge. Now, he said that Brady is gone. I definitely do think the Bills are the team to beat, even though you look at the Jets, they're getting better. Miami and Tua coming in, I think they're going to be better. But, Coach, with Jim Kelly saying if the Bills don't win it this year, then something's wrong. Well, do you agree or disagree? Because I still think, the Patriots are still the Patriots.
Yeah, I think Jeff should be a little careful about anointing the Bills right now. They still have a quarterback who's wild as a March hare. He just at times he gets the ball where it's supposed to be, and he's got a great strong arm and all that. At other times, he couldn't hit the broadside of the barn. So, with that one piece of that one thing that is a distraction to your football team, a deterrent to winning, you got to be careful. You need a quarterback with absolute consistent production to win a championship, and I just don't. I don't think they're quite there yet. Now, they're improved. They're a good young football team. They're tough defensively. They're going to make it tough on everybody they play. I think they're going to be right in there. and I wouldn't doubt that they make the playoffs. But I think at this point to say that they should win the division title, I think that's a little far-fetched at this point.
I would completely agree. Just, Coach, until the Patriots, until they're beaten, I can't. I just can't. It's like, talking anything with Bill Belichick. He is Bill Belichick, and people can say, well, Tom Brady is the reason he's had the success. I think it's mutual on a lot, on both sides of this. But I will choose a coach as well, just because of what Belichick's been able to do overall. But I think this Patriots team, listen, people saying in that draft, well, look, he just went defense. He didn't even go get help offensively. I think he's up to something here. And every time that people have questioned him, he seems to come out on top. Now, understandably, of course, Tom Brady is gone now. But this team with Jarrett Stidham, people that act like they know what Jarrett Stidham is, I scoff at that, because how can you? Even the college career that he had, we never truly saw. And once again, going to Auburn, we didn't see what he was capable of until they let him open it up in that bowl game. And I'm not saying, of course, beating Purdue the way they beat Purdue makes him an NFL star, but the possibility of what he can be, and playing behind Tom Brady for a year, learning that playbook, and now it's his team, is the feeling that we're getting right now. And if Belichick didn't go out and get a big-name quarterback, then obviously there's some faith there. So that's where I look at it. In the Bills, yeah, the Bills look good. Bills, that defense is good. But, Coach, you're right. Josh Allen at quarterback, you don't know. You can flip a coin of what kind of Josh Allen you're going to get. Now, getting a guy like Jake Fromm, even if he does step in, he can definitely help you. But can he be a guy that can overtake, maybe a team like the Patriots? I just, this early in his career, I can't say yes.
Let's look at one thing that is true. This is the best opportunity they've had in 20 years.
Absolutely.
To win the division. So that's a plus, and that's a big plus. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're there. But it is the best chance they've had to win it.
Yeah, you're right, Coach. This is it. I mean, I understand what Jim Kelly's saying. It's easy for Jim Kelly to say that just because, well, he's Jim Kelly. But you know what? It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, because, he is right. Look, the Jets, I feel like the Jets are probably toward the bottom now, just because of the way the offseason the Dolphins had. And we'll see what happens with Tua. But, Coach, I want to get to something here. Interesting article here, of course. Bill Barnwell ranking the, NFL offseasons from worst to first for all 32 teams. And not a big surprise here. Last place, the Houston Texans. Now, the Houston Texans have had one of the, most questionable off seasons probably in the history. When you look at this, though, they arguably traded their second-best player for pennies on the dollar because he wanted a new contract, and then overpaid for just about every one of their off-season additions. Even if they hadn't traded DeAndre Hopkins and swapped fourth-rounders for a second-round pick and running back David Johnson's bloated contract, this would still be a disaster. Bill O'Brien misread the market, and this is, Coach, my pure opinion on this. He misread the market and handed out significant deals to, like, Bradley Roby, 3 years, $36 million. Look, I like Bradley Roby, but I think he overpaid big time for a guy like that who is expendable. Wide receiver Randall Cobb, who is an average wide receiver, but you paid him 3 years, $27 million. Your kicker, Kaimi Fairbairn, 4 years, $17.7 million. And, even threw in a little pact for backup quarterback A.J. McCarron, an extra $4 million. And then Laramie Tunsil, this is the thing that surprised me. You know what, Laramie Tunsil, this guy has had a storied career, and he's just getting started just from draft night and everything that goes on. But Laramie Tunsil didn't have an agent and still got a 3-year, $66 million extension. Coach, when I look at the Houston Texans here, last place in the offseason additions, I would have to agree on this and still shake my head at some of the moves Bill O'Brien made.
I think I would agree. I can't argue with that selection at all.
And, Coach, now moving on, look, the next team here, the Chicago Bears, of course. Foles' contract was a disaster for the Jags. The Bears sent a fourth-round pick to acquire him. Didn't force the Jags to eat any of the money in that contract. Instead, restructuring the $21 million in guarantees to come due over the next 3 seasons. Foles couldn't work out as a team starter. But, of course, signing him to a 3-year, deal here is interesting enough. Now, we know, of course, with the other quarterback in the situation here, Mitch Trubisky, they didn't pick up his 5th-year option. But, Coach, when you look at this, they got Jimmy Graham as well, a tight end that, Jimmy Graham has not been Jimmy Graham since he was with the Saints. I'll just say it for what it is. But they also still have tight ends Deion Sims, Adam Shaheen, Trey Burton. Of course, Trey Burton just recently left. But they gave Jimmy Graham a 2-year, $16 million deal, which is – $9 million guaranteed, a little expensive. Oh, and there's a no trade clause in this. So, Coach, when you look at this for the Bears, just the situation overall, I don't necessarily I don't necessarily agree with the Bears just because is Foles the guy I would have went and got? No, but at the same time, they did go get another quarterback here. Now, I will agree with the not forcing the Jags to eat any of that money, and you give them a fourth-round pick. It seems like a win-win for the Jags in that situation. But the Jimmy Graham deal, I do think he is severely overpaid for what he's been able to do. He has been just about a non-factor for the past couple years, just not really working out. I'm not saying he can't, but what I'm saying is, look, the Bears had 10 before Trey Burton left. They had 10 tight ends on a roster. So getting Jimmy Graham, I understand you're trying to get a guy that maybe be a playmaker to take that offense to the next level. I just don't know if I would have paid Jimmy Graham that kind of money.
No, Jimmy Graham's over the hill. That's a bad deal. I think what they've done with Trubisky, they needed to make up their mind whether they're going to play him or try to go with him for the future or not, or get rid of him, because by bringing in Foles, maybe they think that they've created a competitive situation, but they may have they may have put a damper on his. I think he's a mentally immature person anyway, to a certain extent. And I don't know how well he's going to look at a guy like that coming in and playing. I don't know whether Foles could make a season if he's a day one starter, whether he can play 16 games. Just too many unknowns, and I don't think the Bears help themselves at all.
Yeah, I agree. There is way too many unknowns. And for Nick Foles and what he did, that was great, with leading the Eagles to the championship, winning a Super Bowl there. But he has never had to just truly lead. He's never led a team from start to finish. So that's where I look at him and go, well, and then you look at what happened with the Jags last year, and then he got injured. Still so many question marks. But with the Bears, going to be interesting to see what happens with that. Now, Coach, the next team here, this is where, I get on the outside looking in, but I struggle just because of the stubbornness of understanding who this team is. The New England Patriots, says that basically his reasoning behind this is they had an opportunity to get a guy like Andy Dalton, which he thought that them not going after Andy Dalton with a guy like Jarrett Stidham, even though he has some faith in Jarrett Stidham, was short-sighted and stubborn. Now, we know, of course, they let Rob Gronkowski go, but the thing was with Rob Gronkowski, this is where I'll argue this, is Rob was not going to play for them anyway. We knew that, and they got a draft pick for a guy that wasn't even going to be on their team and be a part of their team anyway, that had retired. So I thought it was great. Now, of course, losing Jamie Collins and Kyle Van Noy, and defensive tackle Danny Shelton, it's a part of football. But you saw in the draft is Belichick went special teams and he went defense and he changed it up, and this is what he continues to do each and every year. So I will argue, I don't believe this is a team that should be toward the bottom. I think there's a lot of question marks here for sure. But, Coach, when you look at this, bringing it back, him saying them not getting Andy Dalton seems short-sighted and stubborn. I will disagree because I will trust Bill Belichick at this point.
Well, I think you have to, and his record proves that. There are some questionable calls here that maybe none of us understand, but he's got a rhyme and reason for doing it, and you have to think that it's valid. There's some things that I thought maybe he would have done that he didn't do, and I'm a little surprised that he lost Shelton and Van Noy, but they'll say he only keeps them for a certain length of time, and when they reach that point, he lets them go. I'll tell you, we only got a couple of minutes. Why don't we look at a couple of those teams up at the top that they think did a good job, and we can come back and finish this tomorrow.
Absolutely, Coach. Let me get to the list here. I would agree with that as well. But going towards the top as a team, Coach, the Miami Dolphins. When you look at the Miami Dolphins, this is a team that we look at Tua, we look at the draft picks that they had. Of course, some question marks along the lines, but the offseason pickups have got some guys, of course, coming from playoff caliber teams. When you look at the Miami Dolphins, Coach, them taking Tua, to me, I'm all for it. I like it. I just hope they don't rush him into this. But them having one of the top off seasons in the top 10 here, would you agree or disagree that the Miami Dolphins made a tremendous jump this offseason?
I think they had a good off season, a great off season. No, I think they made some questionable picks in the draft. The tackle, for example, is a project. He's probably not going to be able to play the first year. You hope he'll be ready by the second. They're not in a position to take guys like that, especially when they had the opportunity to take a better offensive lineman at that pick. So, there are a couple of things about it that I didn't think were the best picks, but overall they improved. They helped themselves, but I don't think they were first on the list.
And, Coach, real quick, the last team before we got to go here, the Dallas Cowboys, of course, getting CeeDee Lamb, Trayvon Diggs, a cornerback from Alabama, Neville Gallimore, the defensive tackle, drafting another center there out of Wisconsin. I think the Cowboys had a pretty good offseason regardless of what happens with Dak Prescott.
Oh, I do too. I think they had a very good draft and they had a good offseason overall. And they did a great job by picking up Andy Dalton. But that was a great move, and you're going to see how good a move that was here shortly. But Dallas is right. John Fox was right. He picked them as his best offseason. I think he's pretty much on the money.
Yeah, I agree, Coach, and we appreciate John Fox joining us. But that sound, it's time for us to go. As usual, we have so much we didn't get to, but you know what? We'll get to it tomorrow, Coach. But it's been a pleasure.
It really has. Enjoyed it very much.
Well, we'll talk to you tomorrow, Coach. Same with our listeners. We appreciate you tuning in. Back tomorrow, same time, talking some football with you right here on Talk Football with Coach K on ESPN Pensacola.
This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM and 99.1 FM, the only local station that talks sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From Gullick and Wingo to the Sports Drive with Chad Brillante. Plus talk football with Coach K at noon, sports call every Saturday. If you'd like to partner with us as an advertiser or a promotional partner, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
First Take Your Take on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. Of course, ESPN News, I'm Jason Fitz. Let's get you started off this hour like we do every hour with headlines that you need to know. It starts with some encouraging New York news. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is encouraging major sports teams in the state to plan on reopening without fans. His quote, hockey, basketball, baseball, football, whoever can reopen, we're a ready, willing, and able partner. I think this is in the best interest of all people, in the best interest of the state of New York. So that's obviously one step towards it. And next up in the headlines, as tweeted out by Barrett Sallee, State University systems of Florida are set to reopen campuses in the fall. That includes Florida, Florida State, UCF, USF, FAU, FIU, FAMU, and others. They put out a press release letting everybody know that they're at least looking at every opportunity and they are planning on reopening campuses. So yet again, this becomes part of the what are we going to do when some schools are open and others may not be. And lastly, if we are going to reopen and we do get any NBA action, we have a Woj bomb in what promises, according to him, to be a difficult loss to a Western Conference playoff contender. Utah Jazz forward Bojan Bogdanovic, one day I'm going to say Bogdanovic without stumbling, is undergoing season-ending surgery on his right wrist, sources have told ESPN. So the injury occurred in January against Indiana, and at this point he's had to undergo surgery. So even if the NBA comes back, Bogdanovic will not. Those are the headlines you need to know. First, take your take on ESPN Radio, ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80, and ESPN News. ESPN Radio, presented by Progressive Insurance. This is shower season sessions. We're going to try this again. Part interview, part concert, all from the shower. Grammy winner St. Vincent invites up-and-coming artists to sing, share, and get funky, all in the sound booth of their home, The Shower. Watch now at youtube.com/progressive. Every time I read that, I feel a little weird because, let's face it, we're all trying to figure out what everybody else is singing in the shower. And as much as I love y'all, I'm not ready to go there. We are going to keep asking you guys what athlete or team you want the next Last Dance doc to be on. 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. You can also tweet me at Jason Fitz. We'll get more of your take coming in just a moment. But first, I want to get some expertise on what we've just seen. So to